The regular meeting of the Mishawaka Common Council for Monday, February 6, 2023 will please come to order. Good evening. Those of you who are in attendance in person, welcome. If you would, please take a moment to check your cell phone to make sure that you have placed it on silent or vibrate. If it goes off, you wouldn't be the first person to do it, but we appreciate it if you would check that. And then for those of you who are participating remotely, good evening as well. Members of the public are asked to place their microphone on mute during the meeting with the exception of any public hearing. At the appropriate point in the public hearing, I will invite the public to unmute their microphone for purposes of submitting such comments as they may wish to make, one person at a time. All persons wishing to make public comments will be asked to first state their name and address for the record, and after completing the comment, members of the public are once again asked to place their microphone on mute, and we thank all of you for your cooperation this evening. With that, if you would, please join us in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That may have been the most enthusiastic Pledge of Allegiance that we've ever had in one of these meetings. Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Hazen. Mr. Belovich.
Here.
Mr. Mamalenti.
Here.
Mr. Benicki.
Here.
Mr. Emmons.
Here.
Mrs. DeMade. Mr. Compton.
Here.
Mrs. Volker. Mr. Hicksonbaugh.
Here. Approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of January 23rd, 2023. Are there any additions or corrections? Then hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as received from the clerk's office. Petitions, communications, remonstrance, and memorial.
Yes, Mr. President, we have petition number 2023-01 to the honorable members of the Common Council, City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is a petition to rezone, rezoning from I-2 heavy industrial and R1 single-family residential to C4 automobile-oriented commercial for auto sale and associated vehicle prep. Vacant land at the southeast corner of North Merrifield Avenue and Jefferson Boulevard. This is signed by Grigor Petkov. We also have petition number 2023-02 to the honorable members of the Common Council. This is a petition of vacation of public right-of-way vacation for unimproved Taylor Street at the northwest corner of Arthur and Grape Road, east of 410 Arthur Street. This is signed by Daniel and Jennifer Sham. Petition number 2023-03 to the honorable members of the Common Council, City of Mishawaka, Indiana. Petition for PUD amendment to expand area of previously approved permitted use for a regional recreational facility, parts of Lot 2 and 4 of Judy Creek Business Park Sub. This is signed by Kenneth Prince, Executive Director, Planning and Community Development for the City of Mishawaka. We also have the presentation of voided 2-year-old checks from City Controller Rebecca McGuire.
Thank you. For the benefit of the council, the backup information was provided to us as part of the publicly accessible council packet. Are there any questions or comments? Then the record will reflect that the voided checks have been presented in compliance with Indiana law. Report of special committee. This evening there is none, so we'll move into ordinances on first reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-03, and ordinance amending ordinance 5811, the fixing of the salaries of all employees of the City of Mishawaka, except sworn public safety, Mishawaka Park Department, elected officials, and the Mishawaka Utilities for the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, for the year beginning January 1st, 2023. This is amending the civil city salary in various capacities.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-03 will be assigned to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-04, and ordinance amending ordinance 5820, the fixing of salaries of all sworn public safety for the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, for the year beginning January 1st, 2023, and continuing for 2 years.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-04 will be assigned to the Budget and Finance Committee.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-05, an ordinance declaring an emergency and determining the expenditure of additional funds for the year beginning December 31st, 2023, in a total amount of $5,935,000.
Proposed ordinance 2023-05 will also be assigned to the Budget and Finance Committee. Resolutions.
Yes, Mr. President, we have Resolution 2023-01, honoring 2022 to 2023 Mishawaka High School State Champion Wrestling Team. Would you like me to read the resolution?
If you would, please.
My pleasure. A resolution of the Common Council, City Clerk, and the Mayor of the City of Mishawaka honoring the 2022-2023 Mishawaka High School State Championship Wrestling Team. Whereas the Mishawaka High School Wrestling Team has long enjoyed athletic success, winning multiple Indiana team state champions, as well as numerous individual championships. Whereas on January 7th, 2023, the Mishawaka High School Wrestling Team has added to wrestling program's legacy by winning the 2023 Indiana High School Wrestling Coaches Association 3A Team State Championship in Franklin, Indiana, defeating East Central 66-12 in the first round, Greenfield Central 40-28 in the semifinals round, and Columbus East 43-31 in the championship round. Whereas such laudable team accomplishments are only possible as the result of hard work, sacrifice, and determination on the part of individual wrestlers and their families who are part of the team. Dustin Abraham, Brody Blevins, Jack Bunk, Corbin Booker, Bo Brabender, Aiden Brock, Jason Bupp, Anderson Cannon, Christian Chavez, Xavier Chavez, Dominic DeClute, Trey Dunning, Gunnar Eby, Corey Gardner, Drew Gittner, Aiden Hernandez, Jackson Hershey, Anthony Hunsberger, Micah Jelinski, Will Kennedy, Josh Kite, Will Mason, Brianna Moreno, Caden Altman, Xander Payton, Chris Peacock, Connor Powell, Courtney Ryder, Mikey Robles, Gunnar Sandifer, Colby Smith, Kaylee Smith, Daniel Thompson, Isaac Valdez, Czar Walker, and Caden Williams. Whereas Team Excellent is also dependent on the leadership and guidance provided by the coaching staff, head coach Steven Sandifer, and assistant coaches Josh Olson, Fabian Chavez, Brandon Dillenbeck, Yancey Gradeless, Adam Sandifer, and Colin Megason. Whereas team success is also enhanced by the diligent work of the managers who support them during practices as well as matches, Maya Mason, Raleigh Dodd, Abby Holloway, and Layla Myers. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council, the City Clerk, and the Mayor of the City of Mishawaka that such efforts are deserving of recognition and commendation. And as such, we declare February 6, 2023 as Mishawaka High School Wrestling Day in the City of Mishawaka, and we call upon all of our citizens to join us in congratulating and saluting this talented and truly remarkable group of students and adults, and thank them for their efforts on behalf of their school, the community, and the City of Mishawaka.
Thank you. We'll now move into the public hearing on proposed resolution 2023-01. And before we invite any speakers to the podium, Mr. Mammaletti, since you were the driving force behind this, do you have any words that you'd like to share?
Just a few. I'd like to start off with thanking you, President Higginball, and Madam Clerk for all your work and efforts in composing the wonderful resolution. I know it's not easy, but thank you for your efforts.
Pleasure.
Just as a former Mishawaka grad and a former wrestler for the program, just want to start off by saying how proud I am of you guys. I know for those folks that have never wrestled before, it's hard to understand the sport and the grind and a family atmosphere and what it takes from day in, day out. Special diets, special sleep, special studies, traveling all over the state of Indiana for tournaments. It is definitely a family sport, and I think that you guys hold something special that you guys will have for the rest of your life, a brother and sisterhood, that you guys will always come back together and say, we were part of that state championship. I know we were part of that as well when I was in high school. And some things that you'll never forget. So thank you for bringing the championship back to Mishawaka. Thank you for making a former Mishawaka Cavemen proud, former wrestler proud. Keep up the hard work. I know you have some unfinished business to do, so take care of that and stay well.
Thank you. And with that, if there is anyone else who is in physical attendance who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed resolution, if you would, please come forward to the podium and begin by stating your name and address for the record.
Mr. President, council members, Dave Wood, Mayor, just want to express on behalf of the citizens of Mishawaka how proud we are of these great kids. You know, we have seen time and time again where Mishawaka students come together and do some pretty incredible things, and this is certainly an example of that. They represent our city so well with their hard work ethic, their tenacity, their can-do spirit, and their dedication and commitment to what it is they've chosen to do, which is very difficult to do. This is the first state final since I believe the 2010 team that my nephew was on. And so what a great tradition that has not only developed here, but recognized all over the state of Indiana. And when I travel around the state, it's often that I hear people will come to me and say, wow, you guys are a kind of a wrestling mecca in the state of Indiana, and it's great to see the program return to that. State championships are the expectation, and as we have done in the past with state championship teams, we have the street department sign crew already working on the entry signs for the city of Mishawaka. We plan to advertise that and be very proud to put up some signs recognizing our great youth and the Mishawaka High School wrestling team. So on behalf of the citizens of Mishawaka, thank you all very much. You guys are great.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed resolution? If so, please come forward. It appears that somebody's being egged on to come up here, whether he wants to or not. Good call, Coach Chavez.
58695 Ireland Trail, Mishawaka, Indiana. First thing I want to say is what a great city to be part of through work, coaching. Let me tell you a little history too. I graduated from Penn High School, 1992, along with the mayor too. But don't hold that against me because I've been at Mishawaka since 2001. Coached with Beeler, coached with Derek Snyder, Charlie Cornett, and now Steven Sanford. It's just a great school to be part of. This team's very special. This is my last year coaching as a paid coach, trying to get somebody younger in there to help Steven out. But this team, I'll tell you this, there's not one kid in that room that hasn't busted their butt every day. And as a coach, that was probably the most gratifying thing that I had all year. But again, I just really feel like the biggest part that I'm so thankful for is that I did get to come and become part of Mishawaka High School. I was very fortunate, like I said, Beeler brought me on board, and I used to wrestle against Mammo, you know, like I couldn't stand Mammo's team or Mammo, you know, but now I'm finally I feel like I'm more of a Mishawaka alumni than I've ever been part of Penn. And it's a great rival. It's still going. I don't know if anybody went to the meet this year, but it's a great part of the sport, that meet. And I'm just glad to be part of Mishawaka Caveman wrestling program. So it's been a great year. And like Mammo said, we still have a job to do. And we're hoping to get a bunch of guys downstate and make some noise. And personally, you know, my kids, he's exciting. And I'm very proud Dad and a very proud coach of all these kids. They're like all my kids. So really want to thank the board for having us tonight, and really appreciate it. Love you guys.
If there is anyone else who wishes to speak, please come forward.
I like that. Sit down.
Coach Steve Sanford, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for making today possible. These are the guys that are putting in all the work week in and week out. We only have 2 weeks in our season left. We're down to 10 wrestlers, semi-state this week, the state championship next week. And each year, I think that we do a great job as coaches and parents, family, getting these guys peaked at the right time. So all our staff here, Coach Fabian, it's our last year. We got to win a team state title with a great group of seniors. And none of that wouldn't have been possible without these coaches or these leaders that we've had. And we keep talking about what great leaders this team has. They've been great mentors to the middle school kids. They're attending the middle school matches. They want to be seen. They want to be supporting them. They've been instrumental in getting a lot of these freshmen acclimated in the offseason and just really making them feel a part of the team, not really feeling like, okay, I'm just a freshman, you know, I'll have my time. No, everybody's really been included in this group of wrestlers. So that's been really special. And at the beginning of the year and for the last 4 years, we've always wanted to win a team state title. We want to bring that magic back to Mishawaka wrestling in the city of Mishawaka. But with this group, we keep saying it's a very special group. We're proud of these guys. We're not finished yet. We still have some titles that we want to try and get to here. But thank you all again. Thank you, coaches. Thank you, family, for being here supporting us. Thanks.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Please come forward.
Corbin Booker from 57500 Oakside Avenue, Mishawaka. I wasn't really supposed to come here, but I did, and I'm quite happy I did, because I would never have met these great people that I shared wrestling my first year with. I've never done this sport or any sport, and I'm quite happy I've done it with these people, because they build you up bigger than you've ever imagined, and I'm really proud of myself and where I've come. Thank you, Mishawaka.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak? Please come forward.
Isaac Valdez, 1005 Woodhouse Drive, obviously Mishawaka. Just want to say I love this city, and the city's built me to the man I am today, and all the people in it, like the coaches and my friends, and it's honestly the greatest thing to be able to bring back a state championship to Mishawaka, and I love my city. Yeah.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak? Is there anyone brave enough to speak against the proposed resolution? Please come forward. Mr. Lynch, anything to add? And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Thank you. Are there any council members who wish to speak? Mr. Compton.
Thank you, Mr. Hicksonball. I want to thank the coaches, Coach Sandefur, on your accomplishment. Congratulations, quite an accomplishment. I can't imagine. Coach Chavez, thank you for being at Mishawaka. That I didn't realize your story. It makes me feel a little bit better about a coach who's over at Penn and has been over there for too long. But he does a great job over there, and good for him. I want to thank all the parents and congratulate them. It's a tremendous amount of work that goes into this, and it's not just from student athletes. If the parents aren't dedicated, the student athletes don't get to where they get to. They go home to get their head rubbed and told how good they are so that they can go back to school and get their butt kicked again. I was never a wrestler. I played football, but so I know a little bit about that. And I knew a lot of wrestlers, and I think that might be a reason I didn't wrestle, is because I know what goes into that. For you gentlemen, as Mr. Mamalenti said, you will remember this the rest of your life. You will talk about this. When you get to be my age, the stories will be a lot bigger and a lot longer, and that fish keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. And it'll be a lot of fun as you get together later in life and talk about this. But really, all this work and all your challenges and all of your efforts are going to play in everything you do in life. Remember this. Remember how hard it was. Remember the dedication that it took, and apply that to the rest of your life, and the world is at your doorstep. Remember this. It's all about hard work. It's all about effort. It's all about dedication. It's all about teamwork. It's all about friendships. Congratulations.
Any other, Mr. Emmons?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to congratulate you as state champions. It's great to see the Providence come back to Mishawaka in the wrestling program, and that the way you've excelled this year. I was on the first wrestling team at Mishawaka High School back in 1959. And we started, and we didn't have the success that you gentlemen have. We got trounced. I mean, there were times where every one of us lost. Not only lost, but we lost every one of us, all 12 of us were pinned. And at our first match against Riley, we lost. And we lost it, like I say, every one of us was pinned. For me, I was a 95-pounder. I got pinned first, and Mr. Richards, our heavyweight, was the last one, and he got pinned. But as this program excelled throughout the years, it's great to see that the Mishawaka program is in good hands. And we thank your coaches, we thank the parents, and we basically thank you for the hard work that you put into it. Because I know I was there one time in your shoes. Wrestling is a tough sport. It's a team sport, but it's an individual sport. When you're out on that mat, it's you, nobody else. You're the one that has to perform. You're the one that has to put the energy in to come out a winner. So I thank each and every one of you for your effort, not only for yourself, but also Mishawaka High School and the community. Again, thank you.
Well, I echo the comments of my colleagues. Thank you to the wrestlers and the student managers and trainers for the work that you do on a daily basis. Thank you to Coach Sandifer and his staff for the hard work that has gone into returning this program to the place of prominence that it should enjoy. Thank you to the administration, from the superintendent on down to the building principal, the athletic directors, and all of the folks in the school corporation, including the custodian who cleans up the mats and takes care of the locker room, and everybody who goes into making a program like this successful. But I really want to underscore our appreciation to the parents. As the father of two former caveman wrestlers, I remember those days when you got up early in the morning and you went to a freshman meet or a JV meet or even a varsity meet, and you were packing lunches and you were doing the things that were necessary in order to support not only your son or daughter, but all the wrestlers on the team. I go back long enough that I remember when the Sandifers were on the sideline watching their son wrestle a long time ago. And it's important that we support our kids in everything that they're involved in. But the dedication of wrestling parents, I would suggest, is unmatched in terms of what people put into the best interests of their children. So thank you for the work that you do. Continued best wishes for the coming weeks. Continue to do the right things that have gotten you to this point as a team, as a coaching staff, and as a wrestling community, and I have no doubt but that you'll continue to be successful for the remainder of the season. So thank you very much for everything that you do. And if there are no other comments from the council, then I will call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
The resolution passes 6-0.
Thank you. Now, although I am sure that it's the highlight of your life to sit and watch local government in action, history tells me that you may have some other things that you have on your mind. So at this point in time, if the wrestlers and their families choose to leave, we'll take a break and you can exit. If you want to stay, we'd love to have you, but please feel free to move on to the next event this evening, folks, if you'd like to. But thanks again for being here this evening.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, yeah. Good luck. Congratulations, Bill. Thank you. Thank you. Coach?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Great job, guys.
Gentlemen, congratulations. 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 Congratulations.
Nancy, how you doing?
Congratulations. Good job. Congrats.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
congratulations.
Good job. Good job.
Good job, Bill.
Thanks for being here.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Good job. Good job. Congrats. Congratulations.
Steve. Woody. Hey, guys, we're going to take some pictures. You want to get...
I guess if we're gonna. This is the only way they'll see us.
I know, I see it.
Thank you, folks.
I couldn't be outdone. I had to get a parachute. They are comfortable.
Yep.
Your signatures?
Oh, that's all right. We can just, yeah, we can just sign over. I can keep one of those. I can keep one of those that we just got done with too. I'm sure there's.
145.
All right.
That's right after Vinny.
This is Maggie's stuff. You want me? I'll put it here with it. I'm gonna put it sideways and I'll put it on the front, so we put it back. There's gonna be a couple of them. Hers, Tony's, and Ron's. No, Ron came in.
All right, we will resume our council meeting under resolutions.
Resolution R 2023-02, a resolution of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka approving the request for the Indiana State Board of Accounts to examine the financial statements prepared in accordance with GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles.
Thank you.
The Controller has requested that this be postponed until the next meeting on February 20th.
Thank you. Based upon the request of the controller, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to postpone the public hearing on proposed resolution 2023-02 until our regularly scheduled council meeting of February 20th, 2023.
So moved.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded to postpone the public hearing on proposed resolution 2023-02 until February 20th, 2023. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, then Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Let us remember that. Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Ordinances on second reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2023-01, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is to rezone outlot from C1 General Commercial to C7 Automobile-Oriented Restaurant Commercial, northeast corner of 12th Street and Merrifield.
Thank you. May we have the committee report, please?
Yes, Mr. President, to the members of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, your Committee on Land Use Planning, to whom was referred the matter of proposed ordinance number 2023-01, report they have examined said matter, and in their opinion should be adopted. This is signed by the entire committee, and I move for its acceptance.
Second. A motion has been made and seconded to approve the committee report. Any additional questions or comments from the council? Hearing none, then Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the committee report?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you. With that, we'll move into second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2023-01. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, if you would, please come forward to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Austin Blomke, Jones Peter Ravinsky, 325 South Lafayette Boulevard, South Bend. I'm here on behalf of MCC Self-Storage.
If I could interrupt you for a moment, sir. If you could step a little bit closer to the microphone or move it closer to you, I'm at least having a little trouble here.
Sure. Is that better?
Much better, thank you.
I'm here on behalf of MCC Self-Storage, representing them. Last spring, we saw a variance for, a use variance to allow the self-storage on that property. And as part of that conditions, it was requested that we seek a rezone of this outlot. So we've gone from a C1 to a proposed C7 auto-oriented commercial development. There are no development plans right now, nothing lined up, but anything in the future would certainly meet all of the regulations set forth by the C7 zoning ordinance. And there will be no additional curb cuts. If there are any further questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Mr. Compton?
Yeah, thank you, sir, for coming here tonight. Tell me a little bit about the security. Is this going to be code access? I've seen them that range from wide open, you just go up and unlock your unit, to something that has a lot more security to it. Just wondering, what this is going to be like. Pretty close to a neighborhood, so don't want it to entice
Sure. Well,
unwanted activity, let's put it that way.
Yeah. The existing former bingo hall is where the proposed self-storage units are going in. That facility is going to be, from my understanding, you're going to have a keypad to get in there. There's going to be security. It's not going to be open to the public. The outlot that's being rezoned, that's just going to be a commercial fast food restaurant in the future.
So there's no outside, all the storage will be
It's inside.
inside the
building.
old bingo hall?
Correct.
The old Kroger's is what it was initially.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you. You answered my question.
Thank you. Other questions from the council? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the proposed ordinance? If you would, please come forward to the podium. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor of the proposed ordinance? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Please come forward. And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak? If not, then I call for the question.
Question?
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yeah.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Proposed ordinance passes 6-0. Proposed ordinance number 2023-02, an ordinance approving an amended agreement between the City of Mishawaka and the Mishawaka Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 91.
Thank you. May we have the committee report, please?
Yes, Mr. President, to the members of the Common Council of the City of Mishawaka, your Committee on Public Health and Safety, to whom was referred the matter of proposed ordinance number 2023-02, report that they have examined said matter and that in their opinion that it should be adopted. This is signed by the majority of the committee, and I move for its acceptance.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the committee report. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council on the committee report?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yeah.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you. With that, we'll move into second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2023-02. Anyone wishing to speak in favor, if you would, please come forward to the podium.
Thank you, Mr. President, honorable members of the council. Ken Witkowski, Chief of Police of our fine city here in Mishawaka. We'd like to start off by thanking members of the council that worked tirelessly to make things meet so we could come up with agreement. President Hicksonbaugh, Matt Mamalenti, and Mike Compton, and Tony Hazen. I think collaboratively, both sides worked long and hard, several meetings, I think a span of maybe 2 months to come to terms. But I think both sides walked away happy with what we ended up with. Just to highlight some of the things, of course, there was a pay increase, which is the highest since I have been here, which dates back like 33 plus years. 7% in 2023, 5% in 2024. We have a residency stipend, which we never had before. I think that's a good idea to keep our officers here in our city. And no increases in health insurance. That was big for FOP 91. I got ahead of myself too. Besides thanking the council, I'd like to also thank FOP 91 for their great efforts and their hard work to making both ends meet and come together. We're also looking at, this was actually wrote into the new contract, alternative staffing model that would be looking at 12-hour shifts to help with current manpower shortages, just different ways to make it better for the city and the working group of FOP 91 to move forward, and maybe not so much being in a mandatory, having people work and affecting their families and stuff. So we are looking at that. We actually have started that already. We have a group incentive to look at that. extra duty pay. We have annual stipend for individual specialties, which we never had before. So we recognize the hard work of those that go beyond just working a beat, and they're in specialty units, and so they will be compensated for that. I thought that was very good. All emergency overtime will be paid at 2 times rate. That's new for us, and it also follows along what other cities are doing locally in this area. And like I say, we're in a very competitive market now for manpower, so we have to kind of meet some of that criteria. We also have something wrote in that when a shift starts and they do not have a supervisor, that saying, meaning sergeants or above, they have an option to attempt to get a supervisor to come in an overtime position. And otherwise, it falls back on the next in line, the most senior officer, and he is compensated. That's part of the old contract, but here we could actually get a supervisor to step in and supervise the shift. That would not affect shift strength. That would just be an extra guy, so that would be also helpful. Actually, this is new too, is all new hires starting in January of this year. Will not earn random days, but we'll call them personal days. So that will not allow officers to take the shift strength below the minimum staffing. So it will be helpful moving forward as we get new officers for the future. And that's pretty big, so we're glad to get that. Minimum shift strength will be raised starting in 2024 to 11 from the number of 10 that we have now currently, as long as the uniform patrol is at 70 officers. So kind of in a nutshell, it's kind of a brief thing of what, I mean, a lot of hard work went into this, so it's kind of brief, but thank everyone that's involved. I think both sides feel like it was a win-win, so I think that makes good when you can do that.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief Witkowski? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Please come forward.
Mr. President, council members, Dave Wood, Mayor, here to mainly thank everybody involved in this. This was really a new process for us. As you know, state law says that councils are responsible for police and fire wages, and administration is responsible for police and fire contract negotiations. Well, those have been separate in the past. This was the first time that we brought all 3 groups together, so that being council, administration, and FOP, and I think the process worked great. I know it went, it took a long time, took a lot of dedication. I'm sure there was some frustration along the way, as all good, negotiations bring out. But at the end, I think what happened was a great thing for the city of Mishawaka, for city of Mishawaka citizens, for our police officers, and for the city by and large. As I've often referred, we are in kind of an arms race for police officers right now. It is a career that, quite frankly, many people are not choosing to go into, and it's impacting our ranks. Last year, we were at full staff at one point in a year, +1. Now we are well under full staff. And there is competition between communities to draw police officers, because what we are experiencing, every community around us is experiencing. We think that this contract here and those terms that the chief just talked about put us in a very favorable position to attract officers to Mishawaka, not just any officers, but the best officers. In fact, we just interviewed one today, hired one today. We have had laterals that we have hired within, or conditionally hired within the last week or so. And so we think that this package keeps us equal to surrounding communities, or roughly very close. My goal always for negotiations is, first of all, number one, job security for our officers, for as long as they want to have one. And so this puts us in a position where they get good pay, good benefits, good equipment, good leadership, good training, in a great location, in a great city. And so we think it puts us in much favorable, light compared to others. And so thank you for your part in it. I want to thank the FOP for adopting, ratifying this, and I also want to thank the chief and his group for their patience, persistence, and for ultimately doing what is right for our family. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions for Mayor Wood? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in favor? Please come forward. Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in favor? Is there anyone in physical attendance who wishes to speak in opposition? And is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak in opposition? Are there any council members who wish to speak? Mr. Compton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Really just want to echo what Chief Witkowski said and what the mayor said. And I want to thank the FOP. I know this wasn't, it was an adjustment for them as much as it was an adjustment for us, maybe even a bigger adjustment for them. And we anticipated that to a degree. But we've talked about this for a while, but the opportunities this year that we were looking for, this just made sense to do it this way. And I think it worked out well. I think it makes sense to do it this way, and in the end, I think the policemen will appreciate it, us doing it more this way. We went into this with a couple of goals in mind. One was more policemen on the street and attract new officers, which meant we needed to pay them and provide benefits that attracts officers and keeps the people we have. At the same time, we did some things and set some groundwork that we hope is going to result in more policemen on the street. That was a big goal of ours. We heard that from our citizens, and we continue to hear it. So that was a big goal of ours. So I want to thank everyone involved that was from the council. I won't name people individually because I'll forget a few, and from the mayor's staff. And again, Mr. Mayor, thank you for agreeing to do this. I think it worked well and will continue into the future.
Thank you. Mr. Mammolenti.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to echo everyone else's comments as well. First and foremost, wanted to thank President Hickson-Ball, Mr. Compton, and Mr. Hazen for their long work and efforts in this. As the chief had mentioned, this took several meetings to get this finished up. I've always said this is probably one of the toughest things about this job, but we do it because we love our city and want the best for our city. Also want to thank the FOP and the administration, the mayor and the chief. And I really want to just publicly say that I'm really proud of the fact that all three parties get together and everybody acted respectfully, respected each other group. There were no tempers or fists down at slamming the table. Everything was conducted very professionally on all three sides, so I want to commend all three groups on that. But I look forward to taking next year off on this one because it's a 2-year deal. So thank you, everyone, for your efforts.
Thank you. Other questions or comments from the council? Then I will add my thanks to all involved, from the FOP to the administration, although a couple folks who we haven't named, Mr. Hinkle, the Corporation Counsel, was part of our team as well and did a great job in drafting the language to button this up. And then the controller, Mrs. McGuire, was an integral part of what we did as well, so thanks to her as well. As has been said, this is unprecedented in terms of the compensation that it puts into place for our police officers, which was a shared goal of everybody at the table going into this. The contractual language and related terms also have that positive impact that Mr. Compton highlighted with regard to not only setting the stage for some immediate increase in manpower on a daily basis in the city of Mishawaka, but also some longer-term opportunities for us to either further enhance the number of officers who are on the street on a daily basis. In my opinion, the mayor is spot on. We're in that competitive market, that arms race that he referred to. So as proud I am of the collaborative process that we had and the work product that all of us should be proud of that we were able to put in place as a result of this negotiation session, I don't think anybody believes that this has addressed all of the challenges that we're facing as a community with regard to public safety in general and the police department in particular. But this is not just a small baby step. This is a significant step to address those challenges and to position us to be able to move on to even bigger and better things in the future if we continue to work together along with the FOP to try to address these issues in the spirit in which they were addressed during this session. So thanks again to everybody involved, and we will hope for the best as the contract and the compensation is implemented, and then we see it pay the dividends that we all suspect that it will. So thank you again to everybody involved. With that, if there are no other questions or comments, then I will call for the question.
Question.
Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalunti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Proposed ordinance passes 6-0.
Thank you. We'll now move into privilege of the floor. At this time, members of the public are invited to the podium to speak with respect to non-agenda items only under privilege of the floor. Seeing no one, is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak under privilege of the floor? Thank you. Then we'll move into unfinished business.
Yes, Mr. President, we have proposed ordinance 2022-50, an ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, as from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of 1966 of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. The petitioner is requesting this be postponed to March 6th. This is a PUD amendment to increase building height to 65 feet, northwest corner of Cleveland Road, State Road 23, and Gumwood Road.
Thank you. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion at the petitioner's request to postpone second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2022-50 until our regularly scheduled council meeting on March 6, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to postpone second reading and public hearing on proposed ordinance 2022-50 until March 2nd, 2023. Any additional questions or comments from the council? I will just add that now that we have postponed this a couple times in compliance with state law, absent holding a special meeting, this would appear to be the last time that this matter would be ripe for postponement. So hopefully, any steps that need to be taken in order for this to be presented to us and action to be taken at the next, or on March 6th, will be taken so that we can move forward with this. But with that, if there are no other questions or comments, Madam Clerk, would you please poll the council?
Mr. Belovich?
Yes.
Mr. Mamalunti?
Yes.
Mr. Benicki?
Yes.
Mr. Emmons?
Yes.
Mr. Compton?
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonbaugh?
Yes.
Motion to postpone passes 6-0.
Thank you. New business. Is there any new business to come before the council? Mr. Mamalunti.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to do a brief reminder. February 15th at 7 o'clock, we'll have our monthly neighborhood watch meeting. It will take place at Fire Station number 4 at 7 o'clock. Our guest speaker, as it stands right now, will be Director of Code, Joe Van Nevel. Be there to answer any questions from any citizens, whether you live in the 3rd District or not. You are always welcome to attend. February 15th, 7 o'clock at Fire Station number 4 on Harrison Road. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Emmons.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a reminder that the First District will be holding its monthly meeting at St. Babel's at 7 o'clock. At that evening, we'll be having our guest speaker, Councilman Kate Volker. She'll be talking about the renewal of the 2016 referendum that School City is recommending to be renewed at the election in May. And she'll be talking about what it's going to support, why they're asking for it. So everybody is invited to be there for information about the referendum. And that, a reminder, it is a renewal. It is not a new one, and it's only for operational. It is not for capital projects. So we invite everybody to be there on the 16th, Thursday night, at St. Babel's, and we look forward to having everybody there. And as usual, we'll have refreshments from the West End Bakery. So look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Emmons. Other new business? Then we have been asked to announce on behalf of the West End Neighborhood Watch that they are having a special meeting on Tuesday, February 14th at 7 p.m. And they are inviting members of the public to come and learn about the future of the Neighborhood Watch meetings in that area of the city. All residents of Mishawaka are welcome to attend, and again, that meeting will be on Tuesday, February 14th from 7 to 8 p.m. at St. Babos. Is there any other new business to come before the council? Then hearing none, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you, folks.